friends. A very good evening to all of you. I hope you had a good time yesterday listening to the chat between the celebrity wedding designer Angelo Garani, where luxury meets royalty. And I hope you're looking forward for this chat today, which is with the wellness coach Kanchan Rai. So we're just waiting for Kanchan to come on Instagram live, and I'm sure she's just accepting the invitation, and soon she's going to be with us. So how is the lockdown going on? I hope you all are safe, staying home, and every day you're getting to meet an entrepreneur who are specialized in their fields, and we get to know about their story, we get to know about them, and we also get an inspiring message from them. So hi, I can see some people already online, so we are just waiting for Kanchan. Soon she's going to be with us, and I'll just check what's happening. Just waiting for her, and I'm sure that you all are aware about the topic today. Today we are going to speak about mental wellness by Kanchan. Kanchan is going to talk about mental wellness to us. If anybody has a question in the end, you're more than welcome to ask a question to her, and please feel free to ask any question and any query you have. She has been dealing with a lot of queries from a lot of people that have taken a session by her, and they really talk high about her. They appreciate a lot, and I think you also have a chance to personally ask a question to her if any query. So just waiting for her. I've sent her the invite. I'm sure she will accept it soon. Looking forward to seeing her. Are you there, Kanchan? Hello, waiting for you. We're all waiting for you. Give us some time. Thanks for the patience. And thank you for being here. And it's a pleasure to be connecting with all of you on different topics every day. Tomorrow we coming up with royal art, luxury with art, and then we have luxury with the persona enhancer. Then we have Shalini Arora Kocher on Saturday, who's going to be with us on Instagram Live, where luxury meets luxury and lifestyle. We all know about her in Delhi, and they all are doing really great. People from different walks of life, they're experts in their own fields. So I think nothing better than being live with them. So here we have Kanchan. Hi Kanchan. How are you? Great, all well. So a warm welcome to you on madhurisluxury.co, where luxury meets wellness. So thank you so much. Today we have mental wellness coach Kanchan Rai on madhurisluxury.co. Warm welcome, Kanchan, on the show. Thank you so much. Kanchan Rai is an experienced trained certificate holder, wellness coach who teaches way of overcoming failure and mental disability. A graduate of the Harvard Business School and a specialist in leadership development and authentic leadership. Founder of Let's Talk Organization. I love the name, Let's Talk Organization. Thank you. By her sessions, one can overcome mental health, learn the law of attraction, how to implement it, learn to strengthen your psychological cord. The key to shaping your life is in your hands, according to Kanchan. So today, every day we're coming coming up with the person established from different walks of life. And since we have today, and everyone has a story, we would love to know your story and your journey, Kanchan. So,
thank you so much, Masi, for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be here. And as you rightly said, like everything or every person has a story. But I always believe like there is always story hidden in everything and everywhere. So if I talk about my story, so it started with a family business kind of a thing. So I was in the corporate world for almost 15 years, and that is where I actually got to know that I am more passionate towards working with brain, minds, and emotions rather than targeting the figures and facts and all the targets which are to be achieved. So this actually I was leading a team of around 250 to 300 people, and they were working with me, and I realized like we get very good result and we get very good outcome if the person working for you or working with you is always very much pleasant with his mind and very much pleasant with his emotions and very much balanced with whatever he or she is doing. And that is how I started, getting more fascinated about the subject, about the coaching, about the science behind it, about everything which I could actually, try to figure out and how to get the best out of everyone.
And you happen to be from one of the you happen to be from one of the best. You happen to be from one of the best institutions in the country, Harvard. So, how were your days in Harvard, and how was the experience? What did you actually gain and learn in Harvard at that time?
Harvard is always like a dream come true for like most of us, and for me also it was like a dream come true. Like getting into Harvard was like getting to a place where you always dream about. So days, if I talk about them, they are like still very. I still have a very nostalgic feeling about it. I always miss my days over there because there was so much of learning. There was so much of expanding, not in terms of your knowledge, but in terms of your knowledge other than books as well. So that was the best part of being into Harvard and getting into people where you meet not only the professors but the students which are like-minded, and they always talk about progress and prosperity and development.
Right.
So you are like at a place where you always want to be, where everything is where whatever you talk or whatever you think is always about progress, development and progress. That's it.
Right. And do you think there is any difference in the education when you come from Harvard to India? And is there a difference in the questions that the Indian audience is going to ask you? Or is it globally, internationally, the same issues, same problems most of us are facing when it comes to mental wellness?
No, I feel like, if I talk about India and if I talk about rest of the world, like, many developed countries like UK, Europe or US, so this concept of mental wellness is not very new over there compared to what it is right now here. You see, people still don't consider mental wellness as a thing which we should follow. Or mental wellness is never given a weightage here when I passed out from Harvard. Now things have started changing, and if we compare about Eastern world and Indian world, the basic difference is like there the people are quite ahead of what they are doing, and here we have just started. So here when I started working on this field, it was more of a taboo. Like no one would come and share about I have this problem. Even if we talk about the general things, if we talk about the mental issue, we were always being termed okay, the pagal ho gaya. If there is something wrong with the mental part, it is always considered as and mental illness. Like the concept of being very much I mean to say very much taking your mental health as an object has been rectified now. So now it is no more an taboo or anything like that.
Yeah, so times have changed, things have changed in India because earlier they were like shying away from it, and they used to feel there is a issue only then you have to go and consult a mental wellness coach. But now I think it's just like as we have fever, so this is also like something like fever that you have to go take a cure and get all right with it and move
No,
on.
I'm not. I'm sorry to interrupt here because I would really want people to understand like mental wellness and mental illness are two different topics. What we are is about the wellness, and illness is something which comes much later when you are ill. So here we need to understand like Like if we have to,
That's correct.
if we have to put ourselves, we have to be more focused upon wellness rather than illness.
Right, beautiful, very well said. And also, like, the difference in the times then and now is a lot because, I feel in the West people are more open, they are more open to discuss their issues and problems than in India, but now the things are changing. I think here also people are getting more, about this. And also in the present scenario, how are you handling your clients and what are the major questions that they come up with and they want to resolve their anxiety or their depression? Because we all are going through it. I think nobody is safe from it, and there is a time in the day that when we feel, oh my God, what's happened to our life? It's come to a standstill. And how do we handle that particular, anxiety or depression, you can call it, even if it's for a short while?
Yeah. Actually, these days, most of my clients, like I'll not say most, but almost everyone of my clients, they come up with a feeling like what to do, like the situations are changing, the situation around us is changed so drastically, we are not able to cope it up, and we are not feeling happy about it. I know, I'm sure, like most of the people are advising everyone to be happy, think positive, try to indulge in this activity, try to indulge in that activity. It's all normal. But what I always say is like, it's you want to feel positive, it's okay. You are not feeling positive, that is more than okay. It's because we are human. We are tend to feel different feelings. We are tend to have different emotions. So even if you are not feeling okay, it's all fine. Like you should accept it. Okay, it's not okay, it's fine. Now what next? What next we should do? Rather than forcing ourselves to be okay, to be positive, we are actually taking or dragging ourselves, which is very unrealistic, or which is very, which is very mythologically, which is like in our mind. I always tell my client, rather than pushing yourself or getting too much into, I have to be happy, I have to be happy, you should try to focus on what you are exactly feeling. We are human, right? We are tend to feel, and we are not designed in a way that we'll be feeling always good or we'll always be feeling positive.
That's
So
right.
if you're not feeling good, even if you are not feeling positive, it doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. It just means that you are a human being and you are just going through a phase which every human being does. So there is no harm in being not okay. There is no harm in being, not feeling so good about whatever is happening. It's just a matter of accepting it. The moment you accept you are not feeling good, the second thing which will come in your mind is like what to do. What should I do to feel good about it? What should I do to get out of it? And that is the time when you realize, like, okay, now the next step is to search happiness or to search positivity, which is spreaded everywhere nearby. You just have to figure out where is the place I can find a good negative positivity, where is the place I can find some happiness. It can be anywhere, even if you are talking to your children, you are talking to your parents, you are talking to your partner, you are talking to your friends. You can be happy with that simple thing as well. You need not to be happy in terms of being a happy. Most of the time we overlook the small happiness in order to receive the happiness which is like a bigger happiness for us. And end of the day we are left nowhere, neither with the smaller one nor with the bigger one. So I always advise my clients and people near me, just try to focus on what you have, what is near to you. Just try to grab that, just try to utilize that opportunity for being happy, being positive. You do not wait for anything which is too big to happen and you have to be happy about it.
So very nice, and it's being human. Any of these emotions that we go through, depression, anxiety, it's all being human. And definitely, बड़ी बड़ी खुशियां हैं छोटी छोटी बातों में. I believe that. Yeah. So also, Kanchan, like, how about your routine in the COVID-19? How are you managing your work and your clients? Because generally, I think in your profession, clients also prefer a one-on-one meeting rather than, being in groups, or they like the personal kind of attention from you, and also they're reluctant to share their private thing. You. So, how are you handling that, and what's your routine like as of now in COVID-19?
Madhvi, actually, my work, to be honest, it has not changed much. So earlier also, I was working, like most of the sessions are one-to-one, whether it be on video call. I'm always available for my clients. And if I talk about COVID-19 specifically, I have been merged with
I think there's
two
some
of the
connection
NGOs.
It's
is it okay now?
Can you just repeat it, because I think losing the connection, there's some network issue.
Yeah, I think I hope it should be better now. Can you hear me, Madhvi?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yes. I hope the audience is able to hear you also now.
I hope so. I will
Yeah.
just actually everybody can they can hear something so that I have to do that.
You can just comment yes if you're able to hear us, because I can hear her now. So I hope you all are also able to hear Kanchan now. Yes, please, Kanchan.
So what I was trying to say is, like, the profession I am into, it also requires a level of comfort which is always, between one-to-one sessions only. So most of the sessions are one-to-one, yes. Second thing, if I talk about how do I spend my time, so I have worked with two NGOs. They are working very, disparate people after wellness thing or mental wellness thing. So I've been volunteering my and I have my own life to take care of. Unfortunately, I have my children around me where I can actually spend my time. So as I said, and I just try to figure out छोटी बातों में.
Absolutely.
छोटी बातों में, yeah.
Yeah. And you happen to be the founder of Let's Talk organization. Can you tell us a bit more about your organization?
So my organization is basically about, we are just trying to spread awareness about the mental wellness. So people are scared about illness. And everyone, whenever it comes to illness, there's always a negativity around it. Illness is not good. Even I personally feel that illness is not something which we should appreciate or we should celebrate. But wellness is. So here in my organization, I just try to celebrate the wellness. Just try to spread awareness about being well in terms of your mental health, which is very important. And then there are, certain programs which I personally facilitate for students and teenagers and corporate people, those who are mentors. They don't know about how to do next, and if they have something, if they have some blockages to achieve their goals and targets, so we just try to help them out. And we are into voluntary services as well, because this is a and we are just trying to create an awareness, and we are trying to actually reach out the people and just trying to create a proper knowledge about wellness. So we just have to create an awareness that this is not a myth anymore, and there is no taboo being mentally ill. So we are just trying to figure it out, and we are just
Right. So primarily educating people about it, and not letting them be shy about opening up on their anxieties, depression, or whatever mental issues that one has. And how old is the association? Like, how old is the organization? And what are your future plans for the organization?
As far as this organization is concerned, so I started this last year. Before that, I was working in the same field for almost like 6-7 years. But as I said, people were not aware of what the subject is. There was too much of gap between society and the subject. It took me a while for me to understand how should I bridge this gap. And now once I have figured it out, once I have found out a way that what can be done and how things can be moved ahead. So I have I just founded this organization. So plans are like I would want people to come up. I would want people to get aware about it, and I am planning to provide an online platform as well where people could actually understand the value of being mentally well, and if there are some issues, if there are some blockages which they are facing, people can call them out if they are doing enough. Right now, we are just limited to Delhi, but I would want this thing to spread globally. I would want India to be well brought to the subject first, and then take it ahead like some other states. This knowledge is required, and like we already have a team of people working with us, and I would obviously want to plan it.
I'm sure you will. Right, great, wonderful. And other thing, when you get cases from children, students, the peer pressure among the students, or even ladies who are socialites, and they have this kind of an issue that every other person may be more beautiful, more intelligent, more slimmer, more prettier than you. So how do you handle those issues, the peer pressure or the size zero kind of a concept and all that?
So for that thing, I actually focus on one thing, that is my mind. So if a person, if I have a class, if he suffers from peer pressure, I would actually want him to consider himself that he is the best. And once he start finding himself, once he internally feeling best, I don't think he'll be into any competition with the outer people. All he can do is like bring the best out of him already there. So to be honest, there is nothing much to do about it. Like, we can't judge people. We can't judge the world, but we can actually focus and we can be best at whatever we are. And once you are best at whatever you are, you will also and your surroundings, and then that won't affect you. And same thing goes with my clients, like you said, like I do have some clients, they have, they are too much into fitness and they want to do fitness, they want to look pretty enough.
Your voice is breaking now, yeah.
Okay. So
now.
Be very sure about what you are. You don't have to do anything for anyone else. It's like, even if you're fighting for someone else, they will want you to get into size which is nowhere, like which is minus 3. That's never possible. You have to be very happy with the size you are. You don't have to worry about what a person is thinking for you. You have to accept as you are, and once you start accepting yourself, people nearby you, who are surrounded by you, so definitely so they are more than what you are. So anyone else to accept you the way you are.
Right, true, absolutely. And what is your suggestion during this time in COVID to the parents who are handling their children, because they have to be strong emotionally themselves first, because they are the architect of children's lives and they are the role models for their children. So what's the advice you would like to give them so that they can be better and nicer and good with their children?
First of all, to be honest, Madhvi, I actually don't believe that we have to put a very strong pillar. We have to put very in front of it. So, like, we have to be the way we are, right? We don't have to show them what we are. And it's okay. It's like human to be weak sometimes. And if your children are seeing you weak, they are not actually looking at an image of you. It's very superficial. They know the real thing. They should know the real thing.
That's true. Yeah.
So you have to be your children if you want them to be
very nice, because they're not being judgmental about you. I mean, your children or your family is not judgmental about you. So I think you can be your normal best with them. And actually, also, what is the message you would like to give to the audience who's here listening to the show today, especially around these times?
I would want to say everyone, whatever is happening, it's okay. Like, I will always say, it's okay. We're not feeling good. Whatever it is, however it is, it's okay. But the thing is that you don't have to just stuff yourself saying it's okay and it's all done. You have to think beyond what is the next after being okay. Like, the life doesn't end if all the things if you don't have to just figure out a way. You just have to figure out what's okay. And there is nothing too big which will not have the time will pass out very soon. Instead of worrying about how to pass time, I would want everyone to cherish time, be with your family, enjoy with your family, and try to bridge the gap which was already there, because you have lots of time. This is the time where you can actually have a very strong bond between you and the family, and the connect which are broken, you can actually try to unite them, or you can try to actually, bridge them up.
Very nice. Absolutely. I mean, good quality time you're getting to spend with your children, and you should make the best of it at this time. Any questions the audience would like to ask, Kanchan? You're free to ask a question. Kanchan, can you just see if there is a question on your screen?
Right.
Or I'm sure they have got the answers for all the questions. Probably we have discussed everything they wanted to know. So I'm sure no more anxiety, no more feeling low, and we grow emotionally with the wellness coach and also grow psychologically. She makes people strong and fearless, live life fearlessly. And you can all get in touch with Kanchan Rai in future. Anything you want to know or you want to ask a question, you're free to ask a question to her. You can get in touch with us. And it was an honor to have you here today. Real pleasure and wonderful listening to you.
Thank you so much.
Already feel lighter and better, and just be ourselves. That's a very good thing you said. So, I mean, anybody asking a question, we can still see. Is there anybody?
Actually, I can't see anything here. I don't know if it's your side.
To execute something is big thing. Otherwise, people just think to start, you did it.
What's that?
I'm not able to see clearly on my screen also any question like that. Anyway, you can also, again, it'll be live, so anything, you can always put up a question later also. So great, have a great evening. Thank you everybody. Thank you Kanchan, and look forward for many more sessions, and all the best. Cheers.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you, bye-bye.